Unity Fort Worth. Today is Thursday, November 26th, 2020. Happy Thanksgiving. This is Morning Pray-In. So thank you for joining me this morning. Thank you in gratitude for coming and being a part of the family that is Unity Fort Worth. As always, we begin our pray-ins with the Daily Word, dailyword.org. And if we look, let's see here, let me put that for us. If you look for dailyword.org, you can read along with what I'm going to read, as well as find other opportunities to read, whether past daily words or future daily words, or listen to them on audio, etc. There's other opportunities, ways to experience dailyword.org. But we appreciate that they make themselves available to us and allow us to utilize the daily word as we do here. Daily word today is grateful. Our affirmation, I have a life of gratitude. Good morning, Tammy. I have a life of gratitude. Let's say that together. Now let me put it in the chat for us. Well, it claimed it was there. Let's try it again. Oh, there it is. So together, let's repeat this. I live a life of gratitude. I live a life of gratitude. Expressing gratitude is essential in my spiritual practice. No matter where I go and what I do, I take time to give thanks. Feeling grateful throughout the day keeps me focused on my blessings and the presence of God in and through all things. Today I will praise to feel. You try that again. Today I will pause to feel grateful for everyone and everything that has helped make my journey what it is. I will let those in my life know just how much their presence means to me and how grateful I am for them. I will continue to practice the presence of God by centering my thoughts every few moments with prayers of gratitude and thanksgiving. These thoughts help me rise above whatever I may be facing and give me a feeling of deep peace. And our verse today comes from Psalm 107, verse 1. I give thanks to the Lord, for he is good, for his steadfast love endures forever. And our affirmation again, I live a life of gratitude. Together, I live a life of gratitude. So being that this is Thanksgiving Day, I thought that I would read to us here a couple things about Thanksgiving, about gratitude, about being grateful. Since we seem to have a national holiday here in the U.S. anyway. Canada, I know, has a Thanksgiving, not on the same day as the U.S., but I'm not sure what other cultures may have a wonderful Thanksgiving Day, but we've got a whole day dedicated to Thanksgiving and gratitude. So let me read here. This is from Melody Beatty. She says, gratitude unlocks the fullness of life. It turns what we have into enough and more. It turns denial into acceptance, chaos into order, confusion into clarity. It can turn a meal into a feast, a house into a home, a stranger into a friend. I don't know, that sounds pretty powerful to me about what it can do. Add that for us over here. I looked up gratitude is derived from the Latin word gratia, which means grace and graciousness or gratefulness. And in some ways, gratitude encompasses all those origins of name. And gratitude is a thankful appreciation for what an individual or a group receives whether we see it tangibly or it's intangible. We're acknowledging the goodness in our lives. And I think it's interesting that psychological research says that gratitude is strongly and consistently associated with greater happiness. Um, Even Harvard Medical School has a research paper that says that gratitude helps people feel more positive emotions, relish good experiences, improve their health, deal with adversity, and build strong relationships. That packs a punch. That gratitude is influential in our life. It's just not a nice thing to do. It's something that gives us a benefit for our lives, for us personally. And we can feel and express gratitude really in different ways, right? Can't we, dwell on something of the past? In other words, retrieve something that was positive from our past and get thankful for that experience. That's the way we bring up gratitude. We can look at the present. We just don't ignore the good fortune that we have in the moment. We acknowledge it. We're grateful for it. In the future, we can just maintain that hopeful and optimistic attitude for what is unfolding in our lives. So regardless of whatever our coherent awareness of the moment, whatever the level of our gratitude is, we have the opportunity to develop it. So if it's deep and profuse in our life, we can develop it more. If we ain't got none of it, we can develop it more. We have that opportunity. And I think it's important here that we look at a nuance that comes from Charles Fillmore, the co-founder of Unity, because he states that being grateful is more than appreciating what you have. That gratitude and thanksgiving is rendering our grateful thoughts to God for his manifold blessings. Thanksgiving will keep the heart fresh, for true thanksgiving may be likened to rain falling on a ready soil, refreshing it and increasing its productiveness. I think that I love that imagery of that statement that comes from Charles. Let's see if I can add this for you over there. There we go. Because he's given me this imagery. I like imagery. I love being able to use that creative force of my mind. I like that imagery of we've got this dead, lifeless appearance of soil, parched earth. But here comes the rain and the potential that was in that soil, the infinite potentials, because anything is possible here, right? This rain helps awaken. It brings into life, blooms life here in this soil that beforehand just seemed to be null and void. That gratitude and thanksgiving bring that life, bring that blossoming into fold. There's also a great writer in Unity. Eric Butterworth was a Unity minister, but also someone that it's hard pressed to be around Unity long that you don't know of Eric Butterworth. But he said that Thanksgiving reminds us to not just to give thanks for what we have in our life, but to give thanks from. And typically we can think of things to be grateful and thankful for, our families, our friends, our jobs, our money, our homes. But sometimes even in that experience, we struggle with, I can't think of anything to be thankful for. But he says there's always something to be thankful from, because we're spiritual beings. You're the whole universe expressing itself as you. And you have this whole universe in your support. And that we can give thanks from that place, from that recognition. So not to lose sight of this consciousness that divine flow is within us, and that we always, always have something to be thankful from, because we always have that we have the divine flow within us as us, and to celebrate that flow. And he takes really, he describes it as a perceptive person that can get into that consciousness. Not that there are people that can't. It's that it takes a perceptive person to really step into that attitude of gratitude, to see the consciousness that enables you to see abundance wherever it is, and to celebrate it. Not just to see it, but to also to celebrate it, to bring those two together. And that to remember a story. And you have to know Eric Butterworth. He's a storyteller, always telling things about some kind of story that isn't always the funniest thing on the planet, but reinforces his message. And he tells a story here of a rooster that thinks that his crowing in the morning raises the sun. So he gets up every morning to do his cock-a-doodle-doo, and he prunes himself and gets all right in the right state of mind and the presence, and does his cock-a-doodle-doo so the sun can rise. But he has a day he oversleeps. And guess what? The sun rises without him. So he's crushed, because now he doesn't have a purpose and a focus in life, that it isn't his voice that makes a difference. Yet he discovers that maybe it's not his voice that was important, because even if that doesn't cause the sun to rise, if he lifts up his voice and celebrates this rising, that in its thanksgiving may be as important in the world, in the universe, as what he believed that wasn't true. And that for us is the spirit of thanksgiving, that we learn to express active goodness, that we're giving praise, thanksgiving, loving kindness, and that in each degree of that it reveals God to us, God as us, and that we can give that an active expression. So it's that recognition of that active goodness that we are, and then being willing to give that in some ways a voice, an expression, so that that psalm of thanksgiving that we find in Psalm 100 in the Bible says, make a joyful noise to the Lord, all the earth, that we can be that joyful noise. That maybe in essence turn out to be more than noise, but be that joyful expression, that in that gratitude, what we're grateful for, what we're thanksgiving, opening ourselves to in thanksgiving, we're revealing, recovering the memory of, and having the experience of bringing into the world our divine nature. To me, that's a profound thanksgiving. So hopefully that for us on this Thanksgiving Day gives us a little more than the things and people to be appreciative of, to be thankful for, but to take that deeper into making a joyful noise to the Lord. So with that, let's take this into prayer. So I settle in here and I recognize that this divine nature, God, the unfolding of law and principle in my world, in my life, that my prayer requests and those of my friends and family are embraced in this thanksgiving, this recognition of my divine nature, our divine nature, one divine nature, and that I settle into this and own it. It's an embodiment for me, that I breathe divine nature, I live divine nature. I am the experience and presence of divine nature. And all that I see and embrace in my world, I recognize as divine, and I am thankful for, grateful for. Grateful that I remember that these things touch my life and give me value, but that I touch life and give life value because I am the divine in expression. And I'm grateful for this recognition and this memory. And as I move into my Thanksgiving day, I am the thanksgiving that makes this day the experience and the wonderful experience of truly awakened divineness that it is. And I say thank you, and so it is. Amen. Thank you for joining me this morning at our wonderful pray-in. I hope that your Thanksgiving day is, oh goodness, more than you could ever thought that you could give thanks for. How about that for a carrying on of our Thanksgiving Day? And I invite you to check out Unity Fort Worth, especially as we're coming up in the weeks moving into December and through December. Lots of new things happening. Check out the calendar, see in the blog. You may discover something that you want to come and participate in. Have a wonderful Thanksgiving. I look forward to seeing you soon.